Hello everyone. My name is Dr. Karma and Sangma. I'm a physiotherapist working as assistant professor in the University of Science and Technology, Meghalaya, in the Department of Physiotherapy. Today, I'm going to briefly explain about pain gate theory. As you know, pain is very unwanted sensory sense. We always have the pain, and people with suffering from pain, it's a major big issue. So, in order to know pain, we need to know how the pain works in the body. So briefly, the reason why I'm taking up this topic is pain nature is how we need to know how the pain works in the body so that we can, you know, assess ourselves and we can monitor and can react for. So basically, pain in the definition says that it's nothing but unpleasant, disturbed sensation accompanies by activation of nociceptors. What are nociceptors? Nociceptors dominant. They are nociceptors are nothing but the receptors which carries pain in our body. Nothing but the pain which carries the pain sensation in the body receptors. So next is like any physical, chemical, thermal, or mechanical stimulus like heat, cold, pressure activity, they are all carried on by those receptors. As those how do you get it? Because in every body, in every there's a clean up endings in the skins and everything, which are your afferent nerves, which are nothing but your sensory nerves, and these carry this stimulus to your higher centers. And how does it works? It works once a nociceptor is stimulated, it releases a neuropeptide which initiates electrical impulses along the afferent fibers towards the spinal cord. What happens is you pinch. Once you pinch, what happens is it releases a neuropeptide and it neuropeptide increase the electrical charge inside here, which carries that sensation from your afferent nerve, for instance, peripheral nerves, to your higher centers, and that is carried by your nociceptors. So, for example, here when you see this diagram, they say from the skin. When the skin is stimulated, what happens is, and the skin releases a neuropeptide, and this neuropeptide which initiates the electrical impulse along the afferent nerves, which creates an action potential to the forefinger and goes all the way to your spinal cord. This is how pain works. So mainly there are two types of fibers, which is A delta fibers and C fibers. A delta fibers are those fibers which are fast conducting large diameter myelinated fibers, which can conduct up to 5 to 30 millimeters per second, 5 to 30 millimeters per second, or 40 pulse per second. Imagine how fast it will move. Compared to the C, they are small diameter and also there is non-myelinated. See, there's a big difference. If it's myelinated means neurons are more. If it's non-myelinated means neurons are less. Since the neurons are less, what happens? The firing of the electrons and the receptors will be inside the particular fiber will be more. If it's in C fiber, what happens? It will be less because C is non-myelinated. So how the pain works is it goes from first order neuron to second order neuron. And first order neuron is nothing but it goes from your skin to your spinal cord. This is the first order neuron. What happens? Your skin. And when you pinch, what happens? It's carried by three nerve endings, which is nothing but your peripheral nerve endings. And this what happens, it carries all the sensation to your spinal cord. So why spinal cord? Because from the spinal cord, all those nerves comes out. So all the peripheral nerves come out. So first order neuron is nothing but your peripheral nerves back to your spinal cord. So second order neuron is nothing but from the spinal cord to your higher mental functions. So it carries from the pain received by the first order neurons, it goes to the spinal cord, and from the spinal cord it becomes second order neuron where it transfers message between the spinal cord and the higher mental functions. So this is one of the example where any mechanoreceptors are nothing but like touch, massage, and all are activated by the mechanoreceptors. Thermoreceptors are like heat, like rubbing. These are nothing but the thermoreceptors. So nociceptor is nothing but your pain. So when this mechanoreceptors are activated, what happens is all this when there are any pain sensation, any like mechanical receptors, when you like rub in everything, what happens is it carries by your T nerve endings or your peripheral nerve endings, and it sends this through your afferent nerve to your spinal cord. Here to your spinal cord. And from the spinal, this is nothing but first order neurons. And second order neurons is once it reaches the spinal cord, the titration that's happening between the spinal cord to the brain. Spinal cord to the brain, that is your hundred functions, that is your second order neurons. So the first order neurons includes like A alpha fiber, A beta fiber, A delta fiber, and C fibers. So normally A alpha fiber and A beta fibers are characterized by having large diameter fragments. So A alpha beta fiber and A beta fiber are nothing but your large diameter. It means what I said. If it's large diameter, the diameter is large, it means they are highly myelinated. So compared to A delta fiber, which is delta, A delta fiber is also large, but compared to A and B, it's smaller. So compared to A alpha and A beta fibers, A delta and C fibers are small in diameter. It means the transmission of the speed of the receptors going through is less compared to A alpha and A beta fibers. So second order neurons are nociceptive specifics. So what kind of nociceptors like A alpha and A beta fibers nothing but which carries your thermoreceptors and mechanoreceptors. Unlike A delta fiber and C delta fibers, which carries mainly your nociceptors. What I said, A beta fibers which carries a pain sensation, which is carries from your skin, deep muscles, and nerve, whereas A delta fibers are those fibers which carries a pain sensation from your subcutaneous, like the skin, pinprick, everything. Unlike C delta fibers are situated deep, where it carries all those pain sensations like your deep muscle pain, any chronic pain, or any ligament pain, or any nerve-related pain, it carries that pain. So C delta fibers. So, and also said that second order afferents are nociceptive specifics. So, any neurons can be fired, like alpha, beta, A alpha, A beta, alpha, beta, delta fibers, anything, this kind of any receptors can be activated. But the thing is, in second order neurons, what happens is they are nociceptive specifics. They choose which particular sensation of first order neuron pass through your second order neuron, which is like in the dorsal root ganglion. So, as we said earlier, that A delta fiber, which mainly transmit a sensation of pain. The past pain is carried by A delta fiber as it said, it is highly myelinated. So, very slow pain fibers are nothing but your C fibers, which are nothing but your pain receptors or receptors only. But the thing is, non-myelinated since in turn, what happens is the transmission of speed is less compared to the A delta fibers. So, most nociceptors, second order neurons ascend to the higher center along through these tracks, between the spinal lattice column tract, spinal reticular tract, and spinal mesencephalic tract. We are nothing but the tract which is located in the spinal cord, which carries the sensation of your second order neuron, which is on the spinal cord, to your eye mental functions. And from the spinal cord, your eye mental is carried by these tracts, like the spinal thalamic tract, spinal reticular tract, and spinal mesencephalic tract. So, this is how the pain is carried out to your brain. Now, now they will get to the main topic of our this thing out here is the pain gate control. So, how to control pain? How will we manage pain? So we'll continue to that. So it was first postulated by Ron Malzak and Pat Wall in the 1965 pain gate theory. It was first postulated by Ron Malzak and Pat Wall in 1965, and it was later modified in the late 1982. According to them, they say that afferent input is mainly through posterior root of the spinal cord, and all the afferent information passed through our synapses in the substantia gelaticosa and the nucleus pulposus. They say, see, this is a neuron point here, and this in here, there is one synapse called the substantia gelatinosa. What happens is, if the brain, if the brain wants to pass through from your afferent nerve to your second order neuron, it must connect those to a synapse that is called by substantia gelatinosa. The posterior horn cells. And what happens in this after this is the nociceptor, once nociceptor enters the spinal cord of the dorsal root, it makes synapses with the 18 neuron or the second order neuron, or the transmission of these cells to the substantia gelatinosa of the spinal cord. What happens? Like once the nociceptors, either be A alpha fiber, A beta fiber, A delta fiber, or C fibers, what happens? It goes through the spinal cord, peripheral to the spinal cord, and there is one receptor called the substantia gelatinosa. Once it makes the synapse with that, after that it goes through that. After that it transmits the message from your afferent to your spinal thalamic, and it becomes a second order neuron by the transmission second order neuron, and from the second order neuron is what from your spinal thalamic spinal cord to your higher mental functions, and it's this message is mainly carried by your cells called transmission cells or T cells in the substantia gelatinosa. So what happens after this is the second order neuron causes the midline of the spinal cord and transmits this information to the higher centers through the transmission of the T cells by the lateral spinal thalamic tract. So one of the example, what happens like in the trauma, any impeachment, any pinprick, any mechanoreceptor, what happens? Carries from the peripheral nociceptors, it goes to your through the nerves and things, go to your spinal cord, and from the spinal cord, for first order neuron, spinal cord terminates, first order neuron terminates at the spinal cord. The spinal cord, what happens? The substantia gelatinosa, you connect to that, and through that connection, it sends a message to your higher mental functions, to your spinal cord, to your brain via transmission cells or T cells, which is carried by your spinal thalamic tract. Understood? Now, next is the third order neurons. Third order neurons is nothing but your ascending neuron synapse within the third order neuron, the nucleus of the thalamus. So, once the message goes out, what happens? It has to come back. So, this is carried by your third order neuron. Okay, so third order neuron carries all these noxious stimulus to the cerebral cortex and gives you and goes to your afferent nerve, and according to that, the body reacts. So, according to the theory postulated by Mazak and Ross, suggests that pain to pass through the gate must be unopposed passage for nociceptors information arriving at the synapses, the substantia gelatinosa. What happens is, in order for pain to pass through the substantia gelatinosa, what happens is, it has to be unopposed because, as I said, there are various other fibers. What are they? A alpha fiber, A beta fibers, A delta fibers, and C fibers. So, in order for the pain to pass through, it should be unopposed. There should not be any other message coming from your A alpha fibers or A beta fibers. So, in order for the pain to pass through, it should add a compound your A delta fibers and C fibers. So, it should be unopposed for the pain to carry from your from afferent nerves or from the first order neuron, second order to your third order neuron. So, however, it says that if the gate is also receiving impulses produced by the stimulation of thermoreceptors or econoreceptors, then this traffic predominates with resulting presenting inhibition of small diameter nociceptor information. It says that, see, our body carries, see, when you have pain, have you ever tried, when you have pain, what happens? Suppose we try to rub. When you are like hit in a head, what happens? To control the pain, but you got rub. So immediately what happens? It's like sudden release of pain. So what happens is, they say that according to the theory is that once you are having pain, what happens? Pain is carried by nociceptors, but they can be imposed because thermoreceptors and mechanism are those receptors which carry sensation, which are very large in diameter, which have highly myelinated neurons. So what happens? And can superimpose. So in theory, what they say, any pass in for the pain to pass through, it should be unopposed or by any other nociceptive information arriving at the substantial gelatin mosa. What happens if you put the thermoreceptor in? Thermoreceptor, mechanoreceptors, the pain sensation in. It will, what it will is when you activate that, it will superimpose the nociceptor. So what happens? At one time, only one receptors can pass through. So what happens is it is superimposing the substance, superimposing the nociceptors at the substantial gelatin. So what happens? Immediately you feel like pain has gone. Pain is actually not a gone, but you feel like sudden relief of pain. So this is nothing but the postulation that is working in the pain gate theory. Once your pain take, what happens? The nociceptors is carried out, but when you rub it, what happens? The thermoreceptor mechanoreceptors get activated. When this activated, what happens? It will block the pain receptors going through your peripheral to the arm metal function, when it's blocked at the spinal cord at the level of the spatial gelatinosa. So, understood. It says that pain received produced by stimulation of thermoreceptors, then this traffic predominates with the resulting specific inhibition of small diameter nociceptive information. So it will superimpose. And it will superimpose and predominates that nociceptors, and it will allow only the thermoreceptors to pass through, unlike the pain receptors. So it's immediately you feel ready. So lastly, what happens? Once consequently for the gate to be open to be nociceptive traffic, the input has to be predominantly small receptors, small diameter nociceptors in nature. If larger diameter information is input, then the gate goes to nociceptive traffic. As I said earlier, what happened? It's just basically saying that if see, as spin and fibers are compared to C fibers and A beta fibers are what they are. They are pain gauge sensors where compared to C, A beta fibers are large in diameter and they're myelinated, but compared to A beta fibers, what are they? A delta fibers compared to what are they? Alpha and beta fibers are larger in diameter and highly myelinated. So what they can do, they can superimpose. They are superimposed, what happens? The pain will be blocked level of substantial gelatinosa. So substantial gelatinosa, what it does is that it predominates, it allows the dominant receptors to pass through and blocks the less dominant, which is your nociceptors. When you activate, when you have pain, when you activate the thermoreceptors and mechanoreceptors, what it will pass, the substantial gelatin will allow to pass and it will block the pain receptors. Two are continuously acting at the same time. If you block the pain, you will allow the mechanoreceptors to pass through the substantial gelatinosa to your arm mental functions. So now accordingly what happens is pain will reduce. So what happens if this stimulus is carried out? If nociceptive information is allowed through the gate, then this traffic will continue up to your spinal thalamic tract, to your spinal cord, to your thalamus, and from there to your cerebral cortex. And with this cerebral cortex, what happens? This stimulus passes through the brain that it causes the interaction between the area of the brain matter and the nucleus of the midbrain, and the sensation of pain is received by your brain and which allow the sensation. But this can be blocked. So mainly when you see in the physiotherapist field, mainly we see all the mechanism is mainly works on the basis of the pain gate theory, because that's why pain gate theory is very important, and it is you need to know the basics, how the pain works and how can you manage. If you don't know the pain and management, how the pain works, you won't be able to decide the particular good management for the any particular condition. So pain gate theory is important. So as I conclude here today, thank you. The hands here.